Welcome to Policy and Profit, the podcast for ambitious insurance agents and agency owners who want to build predictable, profitable businesses without chasing bad leads or begging for referrals. Did you know the average insurance agent makes a whopping $52,000 a year and over 90% give up in their first year? The top 1% doing anything remarkable with their license are making 5 to 10 times as much selling the exact same policies, earning anywhere between $150,000 and $500,000 a year. And it's not luck, my friend. It's leverage. The secret is they're following a system to generate fresh hot leads, book appointments, and close policies like clockwork. I've put together a no-cost blueprint just for that system that shows you how to add $5,000 to $15,000 of monthly additional income in under 90 days guaranteed. You can access for free. Just go to writemorepolicies.com/blueprint or click the link in the description. Today's guest is Erich Ehle, the owner of Family Man Insurance. He's been in the industry for almost 16 years. He came into sales after 9 years of working claims on the front side and is now making a difference in his family, his community, and his clients' life. So, Erich, welcome to the show. Tell me something you believe is the key to succeeding in insurance sales that most agents completely overlook.
There is no silver bullet, my friend. Developing a system, improving on habits, and just keeping to it. I find a lot of agents who unfortunately exit the business too soon attach emotion way too much to this. It's a business transaction. So, I mean, we're all coming up against rebuttals, and we're all coming up against, people who lie and people who push us off and we're not important. Doesn't matter. Find the next one.
I agree wholeheartedly. Too many people think it's them being rejected. They get too personal. This is an exchange of money and services, and you find people who you want, and you find the ones who don't want anything. They want fish instead of chicken today. When you bring fish tomorrow, now they want chicken. That's how people are. So, what are some of the habits that you were talking about that they should really be focused on growing and habituating, patterning into themselves?
So you've got to be able to set your day up correctly, set your day, your week. The more micro you get into that, the more you'll find that your habits are building the right way. So if you come into your day going, all right, I've got something at 1 o'clock, something at 3 o'clock, I'm done at 6 o'clock, so I'm going to focus on those things, you're going to miss, from 8 a.m. to 3 o'clock before that appointment's going on. So what I do is I break my day up into 15-minute increments. So every hour I know exactly what I'm doing for that 15-minute increment, whether it's prospecting or calling current clients, asking for referrals, checking how they're doing, servicing clients, sending out emails, or helping my agents better their business and teaching them. I could tell you, basically on a 15-minute increment exactly what I'm doing for that day. Now, we all know that the day's not going to go as planned 99% of the time, so flexibility is also kind of key there. But set goals is a really good habit to have. And I just got done reading Atomic Habits with some of my coworkers and agents up here. So something that you do is if you set goals that are too big and too broad, they're going to be impossible to achieve. So you've got to set micro goals. Okay, hit your goal and build on that goal. You need little successes throughout your day to keep on going. So schedule your day, follow your day, know exactly what you're doing. Build on good little successes. Don't stretch too high. Start your day off the right way, right? Get up early, don't hit the snooze. Have a nice breakfast, whatever. I don't eat breakfast, but a cup of coffee. Get your morning routine down, and repeat yourself every single day. Those are just some very small little minor tweaks that can make huge changes over time. But another thing there is always try and do better than what you did yesterday, or better than what you did 30 minutes ago, better than what you did a week ago. You're always competing against yourself, literally nobody else.
I like that a lot. And this ties into what I know you're passionate about, which is this whole conversation or topic around ethics. So go into that. Where do you think they're lacking? Where do you think we have the most opportunity for growth as an industry? And and whole? Like what are your thoughts on these, on the ethics piece?
Well, so ethics it's a really big category to touch on, and you could probably have a 3-hour podcast on ethics alone. But what it boils down to is you are in competition with yourself and yourself only. Everything else is just noise. What we find in this industry is that there are a lot of people that are doing things the wrong way because, Mason, you and I both know it's way too easy to make a lot of money doing the wrong things in this business.
Yeah, you got to have some integrity.
You have to have integrity. And a lot of what I find is that there are people out there selling products that have a very specific market that are using their products for a much broader market than they should be.
Sounds like the TikTok agents.
Right? That's a whole nother podcast. There's every single product, no matter what your industry is, if you're PNC, life, health, whatever it is, every single product out there, your competition, what you sell, it all has its place in this world. But if you are trying to oversell what you have, overpromise, and it will underdeliver every single time, then you will find that this is not the business for you. You may make a few $1,000s this week selling it that way, but you're going to get charged back on that in a few months when they cancel because it's not doing what you're doing, and you're putting people in a really bad spot. Really bad spot. Now I do health. I don't do life. I don't do PNC. Life may be a completely different thing, the chargebacks on those, but when it comes to health insurance, if I do something wrong for the client when it comes to health insurance, and 3 months down the road, if they're in the hospital, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, life's the same way. You'll see someone put a 401k into an annuity, or they'll do a 1035 exchange and put money into an IUL structured so horrendous. It's max insurance and low death benefit. It's like you completely did the opposite. You did what was going to be best for you and not the customer, and it's very sad. A lot of, I mean, the first time I saw a 100K month was a girl who wrote policies, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like 100K in a month, awesome. It was like a 4 minute mile broken for me, and then I realized she wrote it on dead people. It's like, what? Just stole banking information and social securities, filled out policies, she had to pay that money back. She got sued at the wazoo. But it's like, guys, be careful with who you listen to. Ethics and ecology go hand in hand in this business. And if you do bad things will come do you, if you understand what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Uh, so what are some of the things they should really be paying attention to? Because discernment is certainly lacking. There's very few sources of truth. And here's the thing about this whole my truth, I know my worth. Yeah, but your customers don't know your worth, so they need you to prove it.
Yeah.
So who, like, what are the things they should really be paying attention to and focusing on?
Are you referring to like when they're starting in a business? Like,
Yeah, and ethics, not just saying, hey, let's just get you approved and you know it's a bad policy. Just not doing stupid shit.
yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it comes down to I have to truly understand what my client's situation is. I have to understand what their goals are. I have to understand, what this is going to look like in 5 years from now, right? Because if I've got a client that only needs something for 2, 3 months to gap them to a new job that they're looking for, I'm going to use a completely different product than someone who's leaving corporate America to start their own business and they need something that's going to last their lifetime. So if you are starting into a business working for someone who's not teaching you those questions, teaching you how to assess the needs and the risk of the individual client, and all they're doing is telling you, this is the product you're going to sell, and you're going to sell it to everyone that answers the phone, you're not working for the right people. Now, that product may be a fantastic product for what it's designed to be used for, and it will have plenty of use cases But if you're selling the one product you have or two or three products you have and trying to sell it to literally everybody there is, that's not a good business.
I'll never forget. There was a guy who went to a conference. I'm not going to get sued for slander or anything because I don't have this on video to show it. But it's, hey guys, everyone, stick your hand up. Feel this? It's a pulse. Whoever has that, that's your customer, that's your recruit. It's like when you talk to everyone in marketing, you're committing the cardinal sin of talking to nobody. So a product for everyone is also a product for nobody. So listen to what Eric's saying. He's a smart guy. Okay, listen to him. This is
Been around the block a little bit.
a timer 12, right? This is not our first rodeo. We know how to hold on for longer than 8 seconds on the
Exactly.
old insurance bull.
Yeah.
So what would you say the risk assessment piece, I think, is a huge part of the sales process. How could you give the agent some tips on that? I think it's a very strong point because they don't really know when they've built up enough need because they never ask the right questions to assess, does this person even need what I'm selling? Is there even a need for me to be here? So how do you go about assessing risk? What kind of tips could you give the agent
Well, so that's going to be on a product by product situation.
basis? Yep.
It will depend entirely on what product you're selling. When it comes to me and my business, so I approach every conversation with a client, prospect, referral, whatever you want to put in that place. With my job is to first and foremost educate you on what is available. Like what is health insurance? What is Obamacare Marketplace? What is underwritten private health insurance? What is indemnity health insurance? What is share programs? What is like I need to make sure my clients at least understand what we're talking about, generally speaking, right? We're not going to have a 30-minute conversation about all the intricacies of each one, but they need to understand the basics, right? Because if I'm having a conversation with someone and I'm talking about deductible and coinsurance and max out of pocket and copay, and they're like, what is all of this? I need to
Yeah.
take a step back and I need to have a little bit more time to educate them. But when I'm approaching a client, I'm asking the questions like, what insurance did you have most recently? What worked, what didn't work? Did you ever have any trouble finding doctors or hospitals? How much was your copay? And I'm trying to get an understanding of what they had. Was it through an employer? Was it through the marketplace? Was it something else in the private market? So that I can already start thinking about ways that we're going to put them in a better place and they're going to be happier with what we're doing going forward. Because if they're coming off group insurance that they absolutely loved and it was $20 a month for them, sorry, Mr. Client, you're going to be really unhappy with what's available in the private market. That's not going to happen, right? Go look for another job. But you know, if they've been on marketplace health insurance, and you know, the common struggles I hear is, you know, I can't find any doctors that take it. In my head, I'm jotting down or taking note. All right, we're going to look for doctors, right? That's going to be part of the process. We're going to pull up your area, whatever plans we're looking at. We're going to make sure that you've got access to care that you need. Do you do a lot of traveling? All right, well, let's go take a look at the places you frequent. You got a vacation home in Florida? We're going to look up the zip code in Florida and see what doctors and hospitals look like there as well, depending on the plan again. You hear a lot of it was just way too expensive. Those, I mean, if you all know Marketplace, those are going to be the wealthier people because subsidies are pretty outrageous right now, until the end of this year, unfortunately. But so if we're talking about, I don't even have to ask how much money they make. Can they afford private health insurance? If they tell me their Marketplace insurance was not subsidized, I already know that I can save them a ton of money in the private market. I'm asking questions about health history. Anybody in your house have any health issues, any medications, right? Because different insurance products cover those very differently.
Yes.
Some of them don't cover them whatsoever. Some of them don't cover until you've met your deductible. Some of them will have copays after deductible or flat out just copays from the get-go. And I'm assessing that. Like if you've got a medication that's $1,000 a month, I'm not going to put you on a plan that's gonna save you $100 a month, but you're gonna spend $1,000 on that prescription. I'm gonna try and find you a plan. You're gonna spend a little bit of money, but that copay is gonna be like $50. So you're gonna save money on the long run, but you're gonna have a little bit better policy. So really grasping on what the client's expectations are and take premium out of the equation altogether. Premium does not matter in the grand scheme of things. What matters is, does the plan work the way it needs to work when the time comes to shine?
The right people will take it and the wrong ones won't. Go find more people. Go have more conversations.
Yep.
And
I have in my 6 years of selling insurance, I have never had one single client call me and say, you know what, Eric, that plan you put me on did a really good job taking care of my medical
cancel
needs.
it.
I'm really mad I had to pay $600 a month for it. Not one single client. Now, how many clients have we had call and say, hey, the plan that you sold me, it was really cheap, but you know, it really didn't cover shit, right? That happens, right? That's going to come
Yeah.
down to
So
notation. I talked about all these better plans and they wanted to save $100 a month, right? So I can come back to that and say, you know, you wanted to save $100 a month.
you ready to spend
That's
it
what
now?
happens.
Yeah, you ready to spend that $100 now, Mr. Cheap Shot? You guys listen to what Eric's talking. If you noticed, there was no pitch in any of that. It was all questioning. It was all seeing what's going to connect the two invisible dots in the prospects' heads between what they want, what they need, and the product solving it. We're creating problems in their head that makes your product necessary. You're giving them information that's valuable. Information is you have to give them the experience. They have to feel good about it. But he's not pitching anything, which is probably why he's making sales, guys. So stop just going in there. Oh, do you want this one, this one? You have to ask questions. The only reason you're not making enough money is because you're not asking enough or right questions. So this has been really valuable, Eric. For the agents and agency owners listening who want to learn more about what you do, tell us who's a good fit to work with you and how they can get in touch.
Goodness gracious. There's not a whole lot of people that are a great fit to work with me. I have high expectations.
Perfect. Let's hear them.
I'm looking for someone, you know, people who would be a good fit under my business would be someone who is looking to make changes to other people's lives. I'm going to
Okay.
say that again. I'm looking for people who are looking to make changes in other people's lives. If you come into my business expecting to change your life, this is not a good fit. Now, in the process of changing everybody else's lives, magic happens, guys. You change your own life. But if your goal is to come in here and make a ton of money for you, it can happen, but it's not a right fit. You've got to have that mentality of you are starting a business with the sole purpose of helping people. My agents work a lot of hours, especially, you know, when it's not open, when it is open enrollment, we work even more hours. But when it's not open enrollment, that need for health insurance, that top of mind for everybody, it's not there. You know, you get the people that have a life event and need to make a change, but it's really hard to get a hold of people that already have health insurance. They don't know what they have, but they know they're not paying a lot of money for it. They're good. You know, it takes a lot more effort to create this business outside of that open enrollment period. So we work a lot of hours. I'm usually here no later than 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes a little before, because I got to drop my kids off at school once school starts. But, you know, 3 days a week I'm here till 6 o'clock, and then 2 days a week I'm here till 8 o'clock. And tonight I actually think I'm going to work till about 11 o'clock because I've got a few clients that are needing some late hours. But I mean, that's it. If you can be coachable, and you're willing to do the process, and you can remove that emotion from the business transaction, this can be a phenomenal business.
Where can they find you at and get in touch if they're that person?
Well, if they're that person, we do have a remote team. So pretty much anybody anywhere that fits the criteria could. You can reach out to me, Eric at familymaninsurance.com. That's ERICH at familymaninsurance.com. My cell phone's 469-600-8055. Feel free to reach out, call, text, email. Familymaninsurance.com is my website. You want to go check it out? I just recreated it a couple of months ago. I haven't put a whole lot of time into making it super pretty, but it's there. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. We're going to wrap up here. You guys go comment down below. Say thanks to Erich Ehle for crushing it. Talk about ethics and how to really assess risk and stuff in a sales process. So you guys go comment down below. Say thank you. For those of you who are interested in making an impact on others' lives, that's your focus. You want to be coachable. You can remove emotion from the process. Reach out to Eric. I'll have all of his information he just mentioned down below in the description. And if you'd like to be a guest on Policy and Profit, we're always looking for successful agents and agency owners who are doing at least 10K a month in commissions to come on, share your strategy, share your insights, be of service to the industry. You can apply at the link down below in the description or in the first link in the pinned comments. And one more time, if you want to stop chasing leads and start booking qualified appointments with people who actually want to buy insurance, go grab our free booked and banked blueprint at writemorepolicies.com/blueprint. Until next time, keep building that commission machine, my friend. Eric, great job, man. That was fun. That was fun. You had me laughing like a hyena over here about spit my drink.